it has started. Now, last week, I did record the meeting, but I was recording it as a host. At the same time, I was a sergeant at arms and was often out of the main room. It didn't work well. Sincere apologies. There is not a good video recording of these two meetings. If there is a member of the club who is willing or interested to take on the Zoom master element of our club, please step forward. Okay? For now, I've started the meeting recording and it will be properly recorded. But unfortunately, the last two times it didn't work out very well. Okay? Apologies. Having said that, I would like to hand over the floor to our Toastmaster of the evening, Magdalena.
Thank you, Els. Thank you very much. Actually, I got scared about the bad news, but it wasn't so bad. You started with like a really bad atmosphere. Welcome, everyone. Today's theme of our meeting is be part of the team and be part of the club. I would like to connect today's theme a little bit to Fred's speech, but about his speech a little bit later. And what's more about the theme? Every member is a part of the club, and every member has a power to change and influence the club. We are a really small and young club, and it gives enormous opportunity to every member. You can try and participate and try new solutions and new form. As a Toastmaster club, we have a certain schedule of the meeting, but it's still flexible. And if you have any idea, just stand up, raise your hand, and bring a new ideas closer to us and create our club. Today we have two speakers, and first I would like to start with introducing our roles. We will start with timer. I would like to ask Sina to introduce his role.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My role today is a timer. I'm responsible for monitoring time for each meeting segment and each speaker so that we will run this meeting on time. I will change my background to green card according to the project requirements. A yellow card to remind the speaker when their time is running up, and red card when their time is finished. For example, for prepared speech, after 5 minutes, I will change to green card. After 6 minutes to yellow card, and when the time is finished, it's on 7 minutes. And Quizmaster, you have 3 minutes, up to 3 minutes for each of your questions. And as I said before, prepared speech has up to 7 minutes to speak, and evaluator is allowed to speak up to 3 minutes. At the end of the meeting, I will announce the results. I pass the button back to Toastmaster of the evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sina. Unfortunately, we have no Arkanter. Is there anybody who would like to take that role? Because Dominika couldn't have joined. I think today we will be happier and more relaxed, especially for me. No Arkanter. Then Grammarian, Faisal.
I can do the counter.
Yeah?
Yes, I don't have a problem. I did it in last week in another.
Okay, perfect. Then Amaru will count our Faisal, then now please present your role.
Thank you, Magdalena. Dear fellow Toastmasters, dear guest, my name is Faisal and I will be the grammarian for today. As a grammarian, I will look, search, and later on, I will provide feedback to the use of grammars. And for today's meeting, we also have a word of the day. The word of the day is very simple: participate. Participate is to take or have a part or share, to take parts on something. Well, I can put it in some sentences. Some students lack the equipment, space, or parental support to participate fully. As a member of Toastmasters, we have to fully participate in every meetings. Please use the word of the day in your speeches. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Faisal. Thank you. Now I would like to ask for a short introduction, Metin, who is a general evaluator.
Yes. So, greetings, fellow Toastmasters. As a general evaluator, my purpose is to evaluate everything that takes place through the meeting. During the meeting, I'll try to make notes and observe any kind of like improvements that can be done to do the future meetings better. At the end of the meeting, I will give you my report. Thank you, and I'll hand it to Magdalena.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Metin. Now it's time for us to go for a quiz master. Quiz, time for us. What did you prepare for us today?
Yes. Well, I like podcasts, and I might not be the only one. So actually, yesterday or the day before yesterday, I twice heard a podcast, I repeated it, about offensive versus sensitive questions. And then I was like, if we aim to be competent communicators, let's quiz about questions. Dear Toastmasters, why do you ask a question? There is no wrong answer. Why do you ask questions?
To know more?
To grab the attention of the audience.
Somebody
to communicate.
else?
To communicate.
To communicate?
To seek, to understand.
To understand, yeah.
To add vocal variety.
To add vocal variety.
To make
exactly.
The audience participate by thinking.
Oh, but you kind of are preempting my second question, because that was, why do you include a question in your speech? It's not necessary, but why do you do that?
Engage with the audience.
Yeah, connect to the audience. Kim Sim, you're a very, you use questions quite a lot. Why do you do it?
It's also for connecting with the audience, but also to gauge the audience. Because sometimes I don't know whether people really know what I will talk about. So depending on answer, I will adjust some part of my speech.
Good, very good. Please remember, because at the end of the meeting, we will ask the questions again. So my third question. What can be the drawback, say the negative part of using questions?
I like that. It's very interesting, Alex, because we have in my Dutch speak club, there's a guy who likes to talk for ages. And when you ask him an open question, he takes 2 minutes of your speech. That is a clear disadvantage.
Yeah, you are not sure how your question will fall, what they will answer. The question can offend. It can create more confusion that you would like to do, etc. So those are a few of the answers. There is no particular answer, but it's good to think about it. Why would we use it, but why also not? Back to you, Magdalena.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, personally also, however, sometimes if I get a feedback, why didn't you use a question? But I think sometimes I don't have to use it every time. It's just one of the tools. So
it's true.
I think it's time to start our speeches. Unfortunately, Italia couldn't have joined, so we will start with Fred. Fred has a speech, leaders follow leaders, and he's going to deliver a speech about the experience of building a team to help create and complete a project to benefit the club and to develop motivational strategies for each team member. Fred, stage is yours.
Thank you, Magdalena. First, I will adjust the camera. Hopefully, I will be seen. Can you see me? Oh, I'll put it otherwise. I'll remove the background. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As you already know, I have done a project with help of some members. And first, I want to thank them for participating. That's Gian, Dominica, and Magdalena. So thank you for assisting me. The first thing what I'm going to tell you is a quote. And this quote is, words are silent, actions speak. I will come back to that later. But I come now to this part where leaders follow leaders. Why do leaders follow leaders? Because when you are a leader, you have to give an example. Especially when you, for instance, building a new club. You need to get knowledge about the people who are in the club. You need to get knowledge about what's expected from you. And you have to learn a lot about yourself. About the club, you need to know what are the rules of engagement. How can I get the best out of everything? What do they expect from me? And how can I get the members involved in everything, in the whole club? And a part of that is motivation. Motivation of member is when you know your goals. What do you want to achieve? Especially in a small club when you're starting up, it's important that you know your goals. In regards to actions, there are 3 points I'm going to now mention which are very important to use in a club. First of all, when you lead, you have to lead as you. You have to be authentic. You have to communicate with your members. Being authentic means that people will follow you because of you, but also because you make them identify with you. Everyone is different, and you have to show them that when you're authentic, you can lead your club your way. There is no right or wrong way. You have to find your way where you can inspire people to participate. And of course, it's not always easy, but because taking responsibility sometimes sounds hard. But when you're a leader, you don't see it as an obstacle. You see it as a challenge. You're getting uncomfortable, but you grow. It's an opportunity to get higher than yourselves. It's an opportunity to lift yourselves up. And when conquering obstacles, you will get further in your knowledge, in your confidence. And that's what a leader does, build confidence with others. Then we come to the next part. How do you build confidence within your within the club? That's by serving. Many great leaders are followed. But why? It's because they serve the community. They serve their followers. It's told that the great leaders of the past, they were not sitting behind the desk. They went up front. That's a very important thing, that you lead. It's not the words are easy. You know, lead by example. And what is example? You do it yourself. The third thing is put your words where your mouth is. And that's participate. Go for it. Show them the way. Step up yourself. If you want to lead, it's very important that you participate yourselves. Be one of the team. So I repeat those three things. It's authenticity. It is to participate. And it's to serve. And I come back to the last thing. Words are silent, actions speak. The best way, and your children are really a great example. If you tell somebody that your child don't smoke, but you smoke yourself, children start smoking because they see it's visible. You have to be congruent with who you are. And that is lead by example. Show the way, but show the right way. And be sincere. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Thank you, Fred, for your speech. Being a good leader, it's definitely a challenge. Let's take now 1 minute, and in the private chat, let's write a feedback to Fred. Okay, I think already 1 minute is gone. Now it's time for the second speech. Thanks, Mohamed. I learned a new word, honestly, and I had to practice how to pronounce it, and I hope I won't fail. So the title of his speech is Perks of Perseverance. I hope more or less it was correct. Mohamed, stage is yours.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever wondered what the advantages are of keeping going, even though there is a lot of adversity going on? Has anyone wondered what the advantages of that is? Well, today there's a story I would like to share, a personal story of where I had decided to keep going on against adversity. In 2018, I lived in Egypt and worked as an assistant lecturer at the university. I always thought I was going to do this for the rest of my life. But deep down inside, I always knew that I wanted to earn a better salary that would help me start a family. One day, I learned about an opportunity from a friend that would allow me to embark on a different direction that eventually changed my life. This opportunity allows master's holders to come to the Netherlands on a program called Search Year. And within that year, I would be allowed to look for a job and eventually work in my field of expertise on the condition that I earn a minimum salary. We started applying for the process together, but we were afraid of the unknown. Unfortunately, fear got the better of my friend and he stopped, but I continued. I'm going to be honest with you. I had moments of doubt. I would look at myself in the mirror and ask myself, Mohamed, what are you doing? Are you risking everything? Your life, your stable job, your family for possibly nothing? Now, luckily, no one saw me do that. Otherwise, I would have looked very stupid. 25th of July, 2018 was my first day in the Netherlands. I did it. I entered the unknown, a country I knew no one in. When I stepped out of the airport, I looked around and I had mixed feelings of hope, but also feelings of fear of the unknown. Fast forward to 9 months later, I was able to get 2 job offers where the main working language was in Dutch, because at that point, I had improved my Dutch remarkably. One position was from the Rotterdam University of Applied Sciences, and the position was lecturer, and the other was at a multinational company as an engineer. 13th of May, 2019, so 9 months later, was my first day at the multinational company. I did it! Yes, I was over the moon! I found a job within that year. But then 3 weeks later, I was hit with the news that they were going to let me go, and I had 1.5 months left in my residence permit. 1.5 months left, ladies and gentlemen. What am I going to do? The only conclusion I could make was that it wasn't going to work out anymore. The experience brought me down to my knees, and the opportunity with the university had already been taken. I was about to give up hope, up until I heard the sublime speech from actress Lisa Kudrow, also known as Phoebe, from the series Friends. Her words inspired me. She said, and I quote, "When one door closes, another door always opens." It really does. And she said further, and I quote, "Thank God I got fired from Frasier," another series. And I'm also thankful for every other disappointment in my life, because these were guideposts that kept me on my path. So I thought, that's got to be it. Another door will open. There is no time to grieve. I said to myself, you have to keep going. And I kept going. For 2 weeks, I received no responses from employers. So I made some calls. One of the first calls I made was to an Englishman by the name of Richard. Richard was a manager at a big multinational company here in the Netherlands. And I had met him when I first came to the Netherlands on some event. So I picked up the phone, I called, "Hello, Robert, this is Mohamed." He cut me off. "I'm not Robert, I'm Richard." "Sorry," and he hung up the phone. "No!" So I picked up the phone, I sent him a message. "I'm sorry, I got confused. I meant Richard, not Robert. I would like to call you. When is a good time?" He ignored me, and I wasn't surprised. But I kept sending applications, I kept making calls up until I called a recruitment company, and that was a success, because 3 weeks before my visa was expired, I landed my second job as an engineer. Yes! That job, I lost 2, and this time I had 9 days left in my residence permit. Now, at that point, I really had no hope. It was really hard not to believe that it wasn't meant to be. However, suddenly, I received a gift. The gift of more time, because on that day I received a letter from the government extending my residence permit for 3 more months so I could look for another job. Those 3 months served me well because I benefited from the connections I made here in the Netherlands. I made a few calls, and later I was able to land 2 more jobs, and one was from the Rotterdam University of Applied Sciences for the same position, lecturer, but in another department. Ladies and gentlemen, I had been working at that university for 1.5 years, enjoying every minute of it. Additionally, financially, it has been very rewarding. The message I would like to share with you today is, you have to call people by their names. Richard is Richard and Robert is Robert. Now, okay, in all seriousness, as the famous writer James Campbell once said, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. However, I say you have to hang around long enough and face adversity so you can earn that treasure. Remember, when one door closes, don't jump to conclusions, because soon enough, another door will open. Thank you. Mrs. Toastmasters.
Thank you, Mohamed. That was a really motivational story. Thank you very much. Let's take now 1 minute to write a message to Mohamed with small feedback. Okay, 1 minute is gone. Let's go to the next part of our meeting. Now it's time for table topics. Today we have a special guest from UK. It's Florian Bay. Florian joined Toastmaster in April 2013 to overcome social anxiety and served on the district leadership team since 2017. He has introduced many new initiatives to District 91 UK South and led District 91 to become distinguished in 2019-2020 as a district director. He credits Toastmasters for changing his life and now mentors Toastmaster leaders as over the world and runs his training company, Speak to Lead. Florian, stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Magdalena. Very good evening, 010 Rotterdam Toastmasters. It is great to be with you in the Netherlands this evening. I have only been in your beautiful country only once, and that was when transiting through flight in Schiphol Airport, so I'm not really sure if it counts, even though I spent 7 hours there, and really, I should just have gotten on the train and gone to town instead, and I didn't do it. I don't know why. Table topics, what are they all about? Table topics is impromptu speaking and really training our minds to be able to answer any types of question and face any situation if we are doing a speech or a presentation and we forget what we want to say, or we perhaps don't want to kind of prepare a word-for-word speech. If we are in a meeting and somebody says, what do you think about this? If we're in a job interview where having a structured answers can make or break us when it comes to getting a job, or in social situation, if we're with the wife, with the partner, and we've got this thing that we got to explain really simply and sharply. I've got 6 table topics that I've prepared for all of you this evening, and they're all on the theme of today, which is kind of stepping up into leadership. And I'm going to ask people to volunteer. If you want to volunteer, please just put your names in, send me a private message in the chat, and I will kind of select you. And I think the first person has just volunteered themselves. So first of all, we're going to talk about the ingredients of a good team, because in Toastmasters, we sometimes have some good teams and we have some not so good team. And the first person I'm going to ask, they just volunteered themselves by kind of a little boasting in the chat. So Kiem Sim, you're a DTM. Please go ahead, lead the way and answer the question.
Of course, people would say the ingredients of a good team are good people. Wrong. That is so wrong. Of course you need good people, but what you need to have are people who are committed to execution, actions, and rules. Because in Toastmasters, when you have a board, put 7 people together, what are they going to do? Oh, you're the president. Oh, you're the VP. VP, sorry? Oh, but you're the immediate past. District director, immediate, sorry? Okay, that means that it's most important that the people are committed to rules and actions, because that is what leaders are about. They have to look for how can they execute these actions, and it has to lead to a goal. Board of 010, what is your goal for this year? Is it just to be a board member? No, there you have to have certain goals. Let's say to enhance member satisfaction, or to get a certain number of members, or just to enhance the joy in this club and the energy. So what are the ingredients of a good team? Not just people, but people who are committed to certain rules and actions and clear goals.
Thank you very much for this, Kiem Sim. What a lovely answer. The next answer is going to be a little bit more about leadership itself, and is perhaps going to be a little bit of a tricky philosophical question. So I'm again going to select a fairly experienced speakers for that one. So Els, this question is going to for you. Why should you lead? Why should you lead? Please tell us.
You should lead, Florian, when you have a vision of what you want to accomplish, and while you need the support of your team, you don't want to stray too far of your visions. I can see on your screen little boats. They're folded, but they're going somewhere, and presumably I, with the vision, are the red boats. Yeah. So the blue and the green boats, the team can support me, but unless I actually indicate which route we are going to take, we might not arrive at the place where I have envisioned we should be. Now, that's why I think if you have a vision, an aim, something where you want a group of people to go to, then consider being the leader in order that you're sure you will arrive. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I very much agree with the importance of a vision. Oh, what is the next one about? And Gian, thank you for volunteering. Your question is, what does stepping up, whether to lead or to something, means to you? What does stepping up means to you?
Thank you, Florian, for this opportunity for me to speak and doing this. But first, before I answer that, I have to give you all a great compliment. There's great energy today, and I love the commitment here. And that's exactly what stepping up is about. Stepping up means committing to whatever is on your plate for that day. It's about what Fred has talked about, to owning something, to leading by example. And if you are stepping up, do it wholeheartedly. Show everybody what it's about. Show your personality and take that with you so you can lead again by example. Very important. And I personally love stepping up to take that and show everybody what it's all about. Thank you, Florian.
Thank you very much, Gian, for your answer. Excellent. What's the next one about? Could it still be about teams? Potentially. And I had somebody that volunteered earlier. Oh, yes, the evaluator of Fred. I believe your name is David. So, David, what is a good team to you? What is a good team to you?
Sorry, I think it's Daniel. Hi,
Daniel,
hello.
sorry.
So no worries. Yeah, that's a very good question. What is a good team to me? I would say a good team means it's just like, let me try to use a metaphor, which is the easiest way to say. Okay, if you look at the picture which Florian shared with us behind the hands, if you look at the bottom right, you will see a laptop. And over there, you will see a lot of, you will see the keyboard and you will see a lot of English letters, hopefully some of them, right? You see Q, you see W, you see E, you see R, etc. And I think by looking at our own laptop, you can see this. And the reason why I want to say this is because I believe a good team means that each of them are strong points in some of the letters. So for instance, some of them are extremely good at finance, some of us are extremely good at technology, and some of us are maybe extremely good at public speaking. But that's just for individual team members. What's a good team for me means that all of them together and not by repeating each other's. For instance, if there's one team, we have a team member who's already good in public speaking, then another one should be in different skills. But by combining them together and synergize and shuffle them in the right way, then we can have the complete keyboard and have everybody shine and having the potentials. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this, Daniel. Excellent. And please, there are more table topics, so do not hesitate to put yourself forward and volunteer. We got another one here. And Metehan, am I pronouncing your name right? This one will be for you. Have you ever been in a team?
Have I ever been in a team? Yes, I have been in a team, and I'm very happy to be in that team. I've been with that team almost like 14 months now. I learned a lot throughout this time, and I'm still learning. And as an individual, I'm benefiting from every meeting, every day that I spend within this team. So this team is a Toastmasters 010, and I'm very happy to be a part of that team. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. And our last topic, this, by the way, is a very, very good book, which I would recommend everybody to read. And Mohamed kindly volunteered to answer that question. So Mohamed, how would you influence a group?
Thank you, Florian. That's a good question. I had actually read a book about the art of influencing about a year ago, and I hope I'm gonna remember the main points that I have read. How would I influence a group? I think it all boils down to trying to talk about something or try to convince the group something that you genuinely believe in. If you genuinely believe in something, there is an expression in Arabic, and I'm gonna try to translate that. Whatever comes from the heart reaches the heart. I think it's also an English expression. So if you really believe in something, if the passion is there, people will see it, and eventually you'll be able to convince those people. So I think it all boils down to passion. It all boils down to talking to people without forcing them, without giving them the feeling that you're forcing them into something, but rather talk with passion and talk about something that you are a believer in. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I don't remember what's in that book because last time I read it was over 10 years ago, but I think there might be elements of it there. And that's it for me. I don't have any more table topics to share. So back to Madam Toastmaster Magdalena.
Thank you, Florian, very much. Thank you for the energy, and thank you for preparing table topics related to our theme on the really short notice. And also thank you for volunteers in participating. And now it's time for our evaluators. We'll start with Daniel, who is going to evaluate Fred.
Yeah, thank you, dear Toastmaster. So yeah, Fred, I'm going to be evaluating you and hopefully can give you some useful tips regarding motivating others, also as a leader. First of all, very interesting point is just this afternoon, we have our regular, I would say not regular, but an extra team meeting because our startup just has some progress, but there's quite some quite some opportunities, and also on the other side, quite some difficulties for the team. So that's why I launched an extra meeting to motivate the team and have a 1-hour bootcamp to align each other's responsibility, and then hopefully to motivate them to put everybody together to work for the common goal. So it's what a coincidence, I would say. And coming back to the points you're good at, I would say your accent, your speaking speed, also very much sounds like already a natural leader, which is a really positive thing. Your body language, for instance, when you say we are involved and then you are holding your fist. So that's really a good body language to express your opinion. So I would say that's overall all very good. On the other side, the points which I think you might be helpful to improve is, I would say sometimes, I would say throughout the whole speech, you are speaking very general terms. So I understand, especially as a senior leader, and especially when you incorporate and used to these words, right? Like servant leadership, communication, stakeholder management, all these words, I would say for some of us who are senior and experienced, we can completely understand you. And I can see that, for instance, Kimflin is nodding already because he's also a leader. On the other side, for junior people, like young professionals, we don't know what it means. If you tell me, okay, I'm a servant leader, I was like, okay, is this some CEO just talking again? Right. So what I would suggest is that maybe it can be more helpful if you can at least mention one specific story. So for instance, you can say, yeah, last night I had this, and then I solved this based on my action on this and that. Then people can more visualize, and then they can link more to their own experience, rather than, I would say, general discussion that it's very much difficult for people to relate to. Then of course, it's also far more difficult for people to get motivated, because it's only when you speak your experience or some specific examples that others experienced before, like some concrete examples, then they say, oh yeah, that's true, I've also been there, so now I'm in your shoes, now you can motivate me because we are on the same page. So that's my short evaluation. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you very much. That's very useful feedback, I think. Now let's go to Els, who is going to evaluate Mohamed. Els, stage is yours.
Mohamed, what a nice speech you gave tonight. You took us along your route of adversity, of your struggle somehow to arrive and settle in the Netherlands. Last week, I had a similar comment, or last time, on one of the speeches. At the beginning, you have to capture the attention of the audience. While I do like your title, Perks of Perseverance, a very good alliteration, not everybody might be familiar with the term perks. So there they are already questioning, what exactly will this be about? So you started with a question, which as such is good, because we mentioned it can help you to connect to the audience. But we also saw at the same time, there wasn't an awful lot of response. I think actually the connection you made with the audience is when you describe the struggle you might have in actually getting an interview, in getting a job, and in how you indeed, through perseverance, reached your goals. Where I thought your speech really excelled, Mohamed, is in your vocal variety and your body language. Terrific. The way you actually showed, I'm somehow looking into the mirror, am I doing the right thing? Raising your voice when you somehow wanted to show your emotion that you were upset or when you are very happy. All those emotions were very clear. So if I look at the aim of your speech, connect to the audience, then I think you reached it. As much as in the topic which you brought to us, as through the questions. Perhaps you have to think from, do I speak slower and therefore the question might land better? Do I perhaps combine it with a slight introduction so that the question somehow has more clarity at the minute that I ask it? So that there are things in which you can experiment in order to improve your speech still. Overall, I believe this was an excellent speech. You gave us very good content with, for instance, quotes of Alexander Bell. Everybody could understand when one door closes, another door might open. Think about the words in your title. Will they immediately actually give the audience what you intend them to understand? Speak slowly. And with all those and what you did already, you will have an excellent speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Els. Thank you for your evaluation. Now it's time for a summary. Looking on the clock, I think we did it quite well with time. So Sina, how was it?
Thank you, Toastmaster Magdalena. I will start with the Quizmaster Els, and she did actually the 3.15 seconds for 3 questions, so that was quite good. And second speaker Fred, he did 6 minutes and 34 seconds. And third speaker Mohamed, he did 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Table topics, Florian. I was a bit confused actually. So what I've written for the 6 questions, for the first one, he took 2.31, 2 minutes and 31 seconds. For the second question, 20 seconds. And for the third question, 15 seconds. And fourth question, 25 seconds. And for the fifth question was 23 seconds. And sixth question, just 6 seconds. And I didn't record the answers. And the second evaluator, Daniel, he did 2.36 seconds. And third evaluator, Els, she did 3 minutes and 23 seconds. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Magdalena.
Thank you very much, Sina. Now it's time for our volunteer, Amaru. How was it with our stops and all the breaks?
Yes, thank you, Magdalena. I think I did my best job, but I'm not entirely aware of all the dynamics of the Toastmasters. It's the second time that I join a group and the second time that I am doing a canter, but I try to do my best. So For else, unfortunately, I was so engaged on your topic that I didn't get how many A's did you say? But I catch up with Fred, and you said 9, not completely A, but that you hesitate slightly. So I counted them as possible fillers. And then Mohamed, you started with a few when you were hesitating at the end as well, and in total was 10, I counted. Then for the table topics, I also miss Kim thing. Sorry about it. Then Els did 2. Daniel did 11. Methan 3, and Mohamed 4. And that was it. Thank you so much. And back to Magdalena.
Thank you very much. Yeah, luckily I think Amara didn't count me. Good for me. And now it's time for grammarian, Faisal.
Thank you, Magdalena. Dear fellow Toastmasters, dear guest. What a night, what a speech we have. I think as a grammarian, I did not really notice a lot of mistakes in the sentences, but I will try my best to summarize what we have so far. Especially with Fred, on your speech, you really provided many good sentences. I can give you some example. Yeah, be authentic as leaders, and but something that you missed, be your authentic. Maybe you could say like be authentic, be your authentic self, and you use some idioms that put your words where your mouth is, when it should be put your money where your mouth is, probably. And in Mohammed's speech, that I love the choice of words, perks of perseverance, and also love the way you put sentences that you took from, that you quoted from many people, that yeah, where one door's closed, another doors will open. So I really appreciate that. And another thing is that for Gian, there's to owning something, to leading by example. I think you should say to own something and to lead by example. And yeah, and I think that's something that that's all I can say. Unfortunately, there are not so many people are using the word of the day. Maybe because the word of the day is quite simple, participate. Somehow like we miss it, but I know Fred used the word of the day, and Magdalena as well. But the rest, unfortunately, maybe I should find quite sophisticated word so people can memorize it and can use it for their speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Faisal. Yeah, that was my choice of the word of the day. But next time maybe will be better. Now it's time for our general evaluator, Mette.
Thank you. So I think overall the meeting was very well. First of all, it started on time, which is an outstanding performance after a busy day, with probably lots of work-related Zoom meetings. So yeah, congrats on that. Also, talking about time, the speeches were on time and on subject. The whole flow was very energetic and fast. Also, I would like to thank Florian for bringing his energy to the meeting. It's really good to see experienced Toastmasters from all around the world in our meetings. They really uplift our meetings. I think overall it was a really good meeting, and it was a nice Thursday evening. Thank you. Back to you, Magdalena.
Thank you, Mette. Thank you very much. Now I would like to ask Alice for reminding us points about questions in our speeches.
Yes, Magdalena, let's see what we remember of my questions. And the first question was, why do you ask a question? Somebody? Somebody from the guests?
Well, to get the reaction from the audience, just like Mohamed did in his speech. That was one reason.
Okay, very good.
To get the audience involved.
Amaru?
To understand.
To understand. Yes, among others. And to ask a question, normally you do that in a conversation. But you also saw that Mohammed used it in his speech. So what is it that he actually aims for when he includes it in his speech? Yes, Amaru?
To keep the attention.
To?
Keep the attention.
Okay. To draw the attention? Yeah.
Yeah, to keep the attention from the public and engage them in the speech.
To engage the audience with the topic at hand. He focuses your attention now on the topic. Okay? And do we remember what can be the drawback, the disadvantage of using a question?
That the question is not answered, or it raises more questions within
Yes.
the public.
Exactly. And therefore, what you aim for, you don't reach. Amaru, you're the star tonight. Well done.
Thank you very much, Alice. Also, thank you, Amaru, for your participation in our today's meeting. It looks like, yeah, we are at the end of the meeting. I would like to maybe ask our guests, maybe Florian, how did you like our meeting?
I like the meeting, really energetic, really interesting. A little bit confused about the table topics timing because I've never been to a meeting where how long the question was asked for was timed, so that's completely new to me. But overall, no, good meeting, a good club, and any guests there, join this club.
Thank you, Florian. Thank you very much. Maybe Amaru, as you're really active today, how did you enjoy? How did you like our meeting?
Yes, I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for letting me participating in this meeting. And I would like to see you in the future in a meeting. So thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome. And that's it for today. Do we have any club business?
Oh, I see two other guests. I mean, maybe the members, but I have not seen Agatha before, and Martijn. Also ask them what they think of the meeting.
I thought it was really nice. I was very curious because I found out about Toastmasters a couple weeks ago. And I was very curious about the whole evening, how it would unfold itself. The speeches were very nice, and from personal perspective, I am looking for a way to deal with social anxiety when it comes to presenting and developing my skills in that. And this seems like a great club to be able to do that. So, great.
Thank you, Martijn. Yeah, you're right. Agatha, how did you enjoy the meeting?
Thank you for having me today in the meeting, because I am from different club and we've got different structure of the meeting, but this one is very interesting. And I can see very experienced members here who can share their knowledge, so I can learn a lot from all of you. And the atmosphere is friendly and people are really professional here. Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you, Agatha. Thank you very much.
I would like to say something, and it's to Martijn, because you are a guest, but also to the existing members. It's not only what you see here today, what you get from Toastmasters. It's not only that you see people speaking. In fact, it's a better way of learning to communicate. I think you can ask all the experienced speakers, Florian, Els, Faisal, myself, we all have a way, an opinion how to do communication, how to speak with people, how to use pauses, how to apply for a job. We all have dignified opinions about that because we are here Toastmasters. So it's not only what you see today, what you learn. It's not only about the what and how, but also about the why. Consider that as you're a member of Toastmasters.
Thank you, Kimchi. Yeah, I think actually that's like kind of the meeting here is like the end of the path. So you have to improve, you have to do a lot at home. And it's like competition if you compare it to sports. So you prepare, and the meeting is like at the end. So you can present what you did before.
Just
So,
note on that, that if you want to go for this journey, you are not alone. That you can get a mentor, right? So approach one of the senior member of Toastmasters and ask what exactly your goal, where do you want to go, and they for sure will help to achieve your goal.
yeah, exactly. Thank you, Faisal. Thank you very much for the meeting. Now maybe club businesses. Do we have any else?
Yeah, allow me to go ahead of Fred. I already put it in the chat. Please volunteer for next time. We still need 1-2 speakers, a Toastmaster, a table topic master. I think Magdalena and both Florian did a terrific job. Nice example, so feel whether you can actually follow them in their footsteps. That's one thing. The other one is that the 1st of April is approaching. Why do I say so? Because that means that actually a new period for membership is due. So in the coming weeks, we will actually give you an email and explain to you how you can actually renew your membership contribution. Okay. For that, I am done with my element of club business and I hand it to Fred.
Okay, thank you. In addition to what else told, we got now a new bank account number. Please be aware of that you transfer the money to the correct bank number. This will also be provided to you. Next, I want to point you to the fact that also we have the area contest of the speeches and evaluations. And this is Saturday, the 27th of February. So that's all the members who are contesting the contest in the club, so evaluating and speeches, and they are there, as me as well. So I hope that we also find a lot of members coming there as well, and to be proud to participate the next time as well, because participating is also in contests is also about growing. And of course, we were talking about leadership, and it's really great when you can empower people. And that's also the Toastmasters not only about public speaking, it's also about leadership. That's really why I had this in my task, and I loved doing this. And I loved that people get involved with that. And so that's a real good thing. And because we're also working to our coming season, and I hope that a lot of people get inspired to take up a leadership role as well. So I will close this with the meeting with this said. I think I got everything right now. I hope that indeed, regarding for the roles, every role, evaluating timer is important to get further as Toastmaster. So thank you all for the participating. Also the guests, I hope you see you again. You're welcome every time. And if you're new here, you have been the Toastmasters member, then we would love to welcome you as a member. In regards to the mentorship, if we have it in the club, we have also a whole program around for mentorship where you meet people around the world. So that's international as well. So, but that when you information you will get when you are participating. So thank you very much for the evening and until next time.
Thank you.
I have one question about joining as a member of the club. I'm not a previous member of Toastmasters, but I would like to join this club. So do you have this? Because I tried another club on Tuesdays, but actually this timing is better for me. So if you know that you want to join, you should come here 3 times and then you can actually join. Or...
You can join today.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Certain clubs have different rules. We do not have actually that you have to attend many times. You can, in case you want to attend more times before you decide that is possible. Otherwise, please forward your email in the chat. We will write it down and give you all the information that you need to become a member through an email. Is that all right with you?
Yes, perfect. Thank you so much.
And anybody else in the audience, feel free to do that as well.
The ones who already have received, send us an email to our email address of our club. You can find us at toastmastersclub.eu. Since you're probably also an Easy Speak, then you can also send us an email to Easy Speak as well. You can find us as well there. So that's and every information is of course welcome. Okay, great.
Fred, I have a question.
Yes.
Could you please find a mentor for me, or is anyone here in the team who can be my mentor?
Yes, that's I will put into the chat. The mentorship is I will contact you, Sina.
Yeah.
Because mentorship, we got now the Odyssey project. I talked about lately about that. We have great mentors as well there. And we normally for mentorship you go to the VPE, and since we're a young club, we can check that within our club. But if there are not enough mentors in the club, you can have also an international mentor that's in the relations sector. But I think you best send Else a mail first if there's a mentor within our club available. If not, then we give you the information how to find a mentor.
Yeah, I think I found one. So Daniel will be my mentor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great.
So, thank you.
Can I ask one question?
Yes, please.
How have I'm just curious because this is a meeting that has been completed through Zoom. But normally, how do things go with Toastmasters, and specifically in this group? You guys meet in Rotterdam and do the same thing, or how should I see this?
Okay, we also have physical meetings in Rotterdam South near the metro station Maashaven. But due to the uncertainty due to COVID, we have decided to for now only do it online. And the intention is when we go back offline, we also want to stay hybrid, because it also gives some additional benefits being hybrid and also doing things online, because a lot of businesses will stay online. And we will also focus on that, how to present digital. Since when you present, it's both ways, digital and normal stages. And we, of course, we like the personal interaction, to see people live. That's more great, but yes, that's depending also how the situation now goes with COVID. I mean, we don't have any certainty. We know the third lockdown, the third wave coming up here, and hope that we don't get a fourth or a fifth. That's depending on everything. But nevertheless, we keep on going, and when we get back on stage, then we can meet in person. I prefer that as well, and make a combination of it. But maybe that's for the next board. I don't know how long it's going to take.
Okay, well, that's great to know. I have family in America, and I might be spending some time there as well. It's all a little bit unknown at the moment, but if I would join, I would like to be able to, if I'm maybe abroad, also from time to time join through Zoom. So that's great. If you guys are staying hybrid, as you called it.
Yes, because we experienced, we had a lot of international